show. And if you don't know who I am, I don't blame you. A little bit about me. I was involved with the Drive Time show yesterday with Irfan. And I am a basketball coach, a community project manager. I love basketball. I love Leicester City. And I'm also a sports and MC announcer. And those are my jobs at this moment in time, working with Leicester City Football Club, Sky Sports, Matchroom Sports, and various other different organizations. But tonight, we've got a very, very exciting show. We want as many of you to interact with us as possible. I know it's late in the evening, but it's the Easter holiday, so surely some people will be around and kicking about at this time of the evening. Please do get involved with us on 01648222086. That's the landline, or text via WhatsApp, or also call as well, potentially 07488555055. Listen online, www.ramadan.fm, or email us, info@ramadan.fm. And as always, don't forget, we are raising funds for the Leicester Children's Hospital. We're almost at our target. We're almost at that £3,000 target, 94%, £2,831 already raised. Make sure you check out our Just Giving page, search for Ramadan Radio, and you'll be able to support Eid Gifts for Children in the Leicester Children's Hospital ward. Help us get to that £3,000 target. So if you're just joining us for the first time, it's a Tuesday evening, and inshallah I'll be doing the same thing next Tuesday. This show is all about the sporting world and how Islam intertwines with our love for sport. We'll be taking calls and texts throughout the night, and we'll be talking about current sporting news, and inshallah I'll have a little bit of a fun with some great sporting rivalry talk as well. But the main topic of today's show, we'll be talking about the top 5 greatest Muslim sports persons of all time. I'll be sharing mine with you and my reasons for choosing them, but I do want to hear from you. Don't forget, get involved with us, 07488555055. I want to hear your thoughts. I know it's late in the evening, but there's no excuse. Join me live here on Radio Ramadan. So, before we get into the main topic of the evening, let's take a quick look at the evening, or should we say the latest sporting news. Manchester United lost 4-0 this evening against their rivals Liverpool FC. Mo Salah ended his recent goal drought with 2 goals in addition to contributions from Sadio Mane and Luis Diaz. Both fans joining forces to show support and solidarity for Cristiano Ronaldo as he shared the news of his son's passing. Fulham have secured promotion to the Premier League after beating Preston 3-0 in the Championship. Alexander Mitrovic took his tally to 40 goals in 40 games for the London club. Neil Robertson is one of the favourite at this year's World Snooker Championships at the Crucible in Sheffield. He's through to the second round of this year's competition after beating Ashley Hugill 10-5, whilst John Higgins, the Wizard of Wishaw, is down 4 frames to 5 halfway through his first round contest against Tepchai Anu. Live coverage of this season's World Championship is available via the BBC. Amir Khan took to Twitter to announce that he was robbed at gunpoint in East London, tweeting that he just had his watch taken off him in Leighton, and followed by a second tweet announcing that he and his wife were both safe. In the NBA playoffs, Kyrie Irving has been fined $50,000 for making obscene gestures at the end of the Brooklyn Nets' loss against the Boston Celtics in the first of their best 7-game series in the first round of the playoffs. Kyrie's response to that is nothing new when I come into this building. And what it's going to be like, it's the same energy that they have for me. I'm going to give them the same energy back. It's not about the fans. The fans aren't playing. Well, that's it for your latest sports news. Time to dive into tonight's main topic. And I want to know, who is your top 5 greatest Muslim sporting icons of all time? There have been so many incredible moments that members of the Muslim community have contributed to, and some wonderful sporting careers over the years. So please do get those texts and calls in, 01648222086. Let us know who you think that should be in that, and also text with us, 07488555055. So, right, when you guys are having a little think about your top 5, I've been doing a lot of research this evening in my free time to think about who my top 5 would be. And, there's so many wonderful people that I've unfortunately had to omit from this top 5. But, I wish it could be a top 10. We only have an hour to fill. So we're going to go with those top 5 at this moment in time. And my number 5 is the magic man himself. It's the Sir Muhammad Mukhtar Jama Farah, Mr. Mo Farah. He's a man that won the heart of the British public with his amazing performances. In fact, I was at the London Stadium, the Olympic Stadium in 2012. I witnessed the man, the myth, the legend, win that 5,000 meter race. And he absolutely took the roof off the stadium. I've never heard a crowd roar like I've heard in that moment in time. And, he's one of the greatest athletes in Britain, should we say, winning 10 global titles with double-doubles in the 5,000 and 10,000 meters, both London 2012 and Rio 2016. But it's very humble beginnings for Mo Farah in Mogadishu in Somalia. He came to the UK aged 8, speaking very, very little English. His PE teacher spotted his talent at school, and the rest is now history. He uses his platform to share his passion for his faith and his religion of Islam, and has been able to lead the way for many young, aspiring Muslim athletes. His kind of quote, as he's been quoted to say, you've got to believe in God. Everything happens for a reason, so you shouldn't get wound up. It also says in the Quran that you must work hard in whatever you do. So I work hard in training, and that's got a lot to do with being successful. Aside from his career as being a champion athlete, his focus is set on the country of his birth, Somalia. The gold medalist set up the Mo Farah Foundation to alleviate the devastation caused by the severe 2011 drought in the Horn of Africa. And the organization focused on both short-term and long-term goals with emergency aid, access to clean water, medical help, agricultural development, and education. He also threw his support behind the 2013 Somalia Conference in London, which hopes to build international support and awareness for the fledgling Somali government. In a video conference, Mo Farah said, I had the opportunity to come to Britain to start a new life, and he was one of the lucky ones. But there are people out there that need our help. The kids don't know anything other than fighting, and I want to see Somalia back again to what it was. The man, the myth, the legend, at number 5 for me is Magic Mo Farah. And don't forget, I want to hear from you who your top 5 sporting athletes are, Muslim sporting athletes are of all time. Please get involved with us online, on social media, text, WhatsApp 077 488 55055, or you can call in 0116 482 2086. I want to hear your views. This is not a one-way conversation. Please don't make it a one-way conversation. Me and brother Akil in the studio right now with the late shift at this moment in time. But of course, hopefully we are keeping you entertained at home. So, who else is in there in my top 5? At number 4, I've gone slightly different to what most people might have in their top 5. And I've gone with a lady by the name of Ibtihaj Muhammad. And she is a black Muslim American woman. She cuts a distinctive figure in the predominantly white sport of fencing. At the Rio Olympics, she became the first American to not only compete in a hijab, but win. That's a huge, huge thing to do. I know a sister in the local community that has designed the hijabi, which is a specific hijab created for sport. Her name escapes me at this moment in time, but when I was working at the Leicester Riders Foundation, we did a lot of all-girls basketball camps and a lot of initiatives surrounding supporting young women getting involved in sport, and she was at the forefront of that. And also she actually presented at the British Basketball League finals as well, sharing her love for the sport of basketball, but also, allowing young girls, young Muslim girls, to be able to compete whilst honoring their own beliefs and thoughts in that process. But, back to Ibtihaj Muhammad, a phenomenal woman. Too often the burden is placed on minorities to explain and legitimize themselves and their experience. And why should that be? She argues that we should all do a better job of learning about and trying to understand other people, approaching those who are different from us and foremost as fellow humans, with less emphasis on the ways that we are different. In 2012, she was named the Muslim Sportswoman of the Year. She was quoted as saying, a lot of people don't believe that Muslim women have voices or that we participate in sport. And it's not just to challenge misconceptions outside the Muslim community, but within the Muslim community, she wants to break the cultural norms. And I can definitely align with that, you know. When I was younger, as I mentioned, actually, I was on the Drive Time show with Irfan. I faced numerous challenges in trying to balance my faith and my religion with my dedication to sport. As many people know, to be, you know, a prolific figure within your sport, you need to put in the hours. You need to put in the unseen hours, the hard work. You know, waking up. I went to Beecham College. We had a basketball academy at the time. We used to have 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. practices. You know, not many young people, you know, especially in the sixth form age, wanting to get out of their bed at that time of the morning and work on their craft. But I would roll out the bed when I had the opportunity to do so, get down to the gym and, you know, practice shooting, practice my dribbling skills, my passing skills, etc. You know, the coach, a guy called Dave Greenaway, was really supportive in us being able to do that. And he made it really, really clear that if you weren't going to show up, he wasn't going to show up either. So you get out what you put in. But it is important that, you know, as I mentioned, this balance between faith and sport, that you are able to observe, you know, both in each respect. And for me, that was, you know, waking up, doing those morning practices, then doing a whole day worth of school, maybe having an after school practice, then maybe going to madrasa after that, you know, learning about my religion, learning about the Quran, and then following that, maybe then going to Leicester practice and having another session in the evening, or playing a local league fixture, and then similarly playing the same fixtures on weekends, etc. And then, of course, during the holy month of Ramadan, being able to fast and play basketball at the same time. Or, you know, I'm not by any means the only person that's done it. We know so many professional athletes, and of course the Premier League and other professional leagues around the world are out there this moment in time that show, you know, these organizations can support Muslims in for them to try and observe, you know, their fasting, and also for the opportunity to compete. Recently, it went viral in the Bundesliga. They stopped the game. You know, some of the fans understood it, some of them didn't understand it. Nonetheless, you know, it was really well received on social media that, you know, such a big sporting organization would allow that. And even in the Premier League, you know, we see players, for example, at Leicester City, Wesley Fofana, you know, he's breaking his fast if it's the correct time during a match, you know, having a bit of water, having some kajur, and then, or just you know, a few energy sachets, etc., and then getting straight into it. Or, you know, we've seen plenty of examples of professional athletes competing without having to break their fast, because of course, you know, they have to break their fast after the time, you know, that they're partaking in their sport. So that is my number 4, Ibtihaj Muhammad, a black Muslim American woman, a fencing champion, and the 2012 Muslim Sportswoman of the Year in at number 4. If you missed it, my number 5 was Mo Farah, the man, the myth, the legend, Money Mo Farah. I really do love that man as well. So don't forget, I want to know who your top 5 are. You can call in, you can text in on WhatsApp 07748555055. Please don't leave me here by myself. I want to know your thoughts. You can't run, you can't hide. It's midnight, and if you're listening in, you should be calling in too. So let's crack on then. Let's have a little look further down my list. Now, in at number 3 is someone actually who's related to the sport I love, which is basketball. And this man is called Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Now, I've got a friend, and in fact, my cousin himself. He is known as the Hoop Genius. And I don't know if you know about basketball at NBA. If you're watching Sky Sports and you do watch the NBA, and during Ramadan, it's a great excuse to be staying up late at night. My brother at the Hoop Genius, Mo Moonsey, has given me his top 5, and 2 NBA players feature in that one. The one that I've mentioned just now, number 3, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, and I'll explain why he's called the Dream very shortly. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the LA Lakers, legend, NBA legend, one of the best big men that ever graced the NBA. So we agree on 2 of those, and I'll let you know if we agree on more later, Mo. We've also heard from Kirk Master, of course, Councillor Kirk, who's mentioned a few. He mentioned Mike Tyson, Mo Farah, which we agree on, Shaquille O'Neal, Imran Khan. I mean, come on now. I know how many people, cricket fans out there, you love Imran Khan and all of his exploits in the game. Ribéry and Hasiba in the mix as well. So please let us know. I've also got a friend from Coventry, a brother from Coventry. He's actually a sports media reporter. Ziad, he's a massive Coventry fan. In Leicester, we don't look too kindly on Coventry fans, but putting sport aside, he's a brother nonetheless. And he mentioned Prince Nassim Hamed. Well, listen, Prince Nassim is an interesting one because we all know about his lifestyle whilst he was a professional boxer, but nonetheless, he brought religion into the forefront of what he was doing, and it was an integral part of spreading the word. And people kind of fell in love weirdly with his cockiness and his confidence. But more importantly, later on in life, he really started to understand the importance of his religion and reflecting on his demeanor whilst he was a professional boxer, and how believing in Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, how it helped him change his lifestyle and change the way he went about things. So no, some great shouts there. So please do get involved with me on social media and online via text on WhatsApp 488 So let's lock into my number 3, Mr. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Now, he's called the Dream for a specific reason. There's a move that he created. It's called the Dream Shake. So when he got into the post or close to the basket, he had his back to the basket, he used to do a little shoulder shimmy that used to leave the defenders, and it was called the Dream Shake. And he was incredible at doing so, and he then was dubbed the Dream, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. The 1983 NCAA Tournament Most Outstanding Player, a 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 2-time NBA Champion, leading shot blocker in NBA history, a 12-time NBA All-Star. Without a doubt, one of the greatest centers in NBA history, a 7-foot Nigerian. He's got a list of accomplishments, and by this day, greats like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, all of these guys, they all know about Hakeem the Dream. And what a wonderful man. He had a great career in Houston, playing for the Houston Rockets. But throughout his time, he remained a devout Muslim, and he converted early on in his NBA career. And he was so dedicated to his fast, or to his faith, that he'd fast during Ramadan, despite the fact that the whole period of Ramadan would fall during the NBA season. He actually now resides in Birmingham, of all places. Such a great man now resides in Birmingham, and he supports the City of Birmingham Rockets Basketball Club. And I've actually had a very, very brief opportunity to meet him and say hello. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to be a fanboy and take any photos with him, etc. But, it's great that he's now investing in young people in the city of Birmingham, where he lives, helping them to support in the area of Nechells. Now, if you know anything about Birmingham, Nechells is a very disadvantaged area, and there's a lot of young people that benefit of being involved in basketball in the City of Birmingham Rockets Basketball Club. He's also lined up potentially as part of the drive in British basketball and the 777 Miami Investment Fund to invest in a professional franchise in Birmingham, which hasn't happened for many years. It's a little bit of a shame that there's no professional franchise basketball in Birmingham. But yes, leading the way, and that's my number 3, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Now, I want to know, ladies and gents, if you haven't heard it already, please let me know who's your top 5. You can get involved with us on social media. I'm live on the Ramadan.fm Instagram, but you can also text and WhatsApp in 077 488 55055. But also, I want to talk about, some of the Premier League action that we're seeing this moment in time. If you're a Manchester United fan or a Liverpool fan or, whoever you're supporting this season, maybe you're feeling a little aggrieved with how your team's performing this season. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Or if it's not football, your main sport, whatever sport it is that you follow, please let me know who you have, who you are supporting, or what your thoughts are. This is Late Night Sports Thoughts live here on Ramadan Radio 87.7 FM. You can also call us 0116 482 2086. Call in, tune in, and let me know your thoughts. So let's get a quick recap back to my top 5. So starting at number 5, I mentioned already, it's Mo Farah. This is my number 5. Everybody knows Mr. Mo, one of the greatest British Muslim athletes of all time. In at number 4, a lady that maybe not all of you know, Ibtihaj Muhammad, a black Muslim American woman who was incredible in the sport of fencing. She won at the Rio Olympics, the first American to compete in hijab and also win. That was my number 4. And in at number 3 was Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. So those are my first 3 of my top 5. Now, let me just make this really clear. There's a lot of people that I missed off the list. There's so many people that could be on this list in time. As I read out a couple of tweets that were sent to me about the Mike Tysons, nobody's mentioned it, but Amir Khan, and then of course we've got the current Premier League elite, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, the best centre back in the world, Wesley Fofana, Leicester City's own. Of course, we've got Paul Pogba, we've got so many, Karim Benzema, who obviously put Chelsea to bed recently in the Champions League as well, whilst fasting, just to make it really, really clear. So many inspirational sporting people. I want to know who's your top 5. Give me a call, 0116 482 2086, and text on WhatsApp 077 488 055. I want to give a quick shout out to my cousin Hamza Lumbak. Yes, he actually is, believe it or not, one of the greatest stewards out there. He actually stewards for the Leicester Tigers Rugby Club and Leicester City Football Club. Has been fortunate to travel away on European exploits with Leicester City as well. But believe it or not, although he supports Leicester, we've had for many years a lot of banter about him being a massive Manchester United fan, going back to the days when we used to sit in a room and play FIFA 1898 or whatever it is that we were playing at the time. He used to get really upset if we talk about Manchester United in a bad way. And unfortunately, Hamza, my cousin, I'm sorry, I love you, brother, but unfortunately, it's just not going well for Manchester United at this moment in time. And hopefully, if you want to share your thoughts with me, you know where I am. You got my number. You can let me know, Hamza. Let me know. And hopefully we'll hear from you a little bit later on. So back to my top 5 of all time. So the next person I'm going to mention is a sporting icon, is a legend in the game, is a football star, and it is the main man himself, Zinedine Zidane. 3-time FIFA World Player of the Year, 1998 World Cup champion, arguably one of the best to ever lace it up. Zidane is a Frenchman of Algerian descent who wowed the footballing world for many, many years. And I know there's thousands, tens of thousands, even millions of kids out there that when they're kicking ball in the street, they're pretending that they're Zinedine Zidane, twisting up defenders left, right, and center. What an incredible man. His parents came to France in the 1950s. He was born and raised in La Castellane. My French isn't amazing, so I hope I pronounced that correctly. A suburb of Marseille. Zidane embodies a hybrid identity shared by the marginalized, disenfranchised, and economically deprived subsect of the French population. Zidane's two goals in the 1998 World Cup led France to victory. A sense of victory that succeeded to the socio-political realm and ultimately transformed French society, albeit only for a short time. He mentioned, in a way, in our victory, the whole history of France was encapsulated. It was an important moment for France and one that remains a symbol. The World Cup win represented a victory for an alternative vision of France. The idea that we all come together, we all get along, and everyone can be part of this society. People remember it was a very promising and beautiful time. And I think that rings true with a lot of our sporting athletes, our current Muslim sporting athletes in all sports, being able to bring people together, it's incredible what sporting organizations and sporting leagues will do to get behind people who are successful and also, invest in their beliefs. I remember, Newcastle United for a very long time had a really strong Muslim contingent. I remember Demba Ba, Papi Cisse, I believe also Ben Arfa, I believe it was Ben Arfa. He was also there as well. So there was a number of Muslim players there. And as a result of the Muslim contingent within their team, they then built a prayer room for them specifically to be able to ensure that they can fulfill their religious beliefs throughout that time. I know at Blackburn Rovers Football Club as well, believe it or not, my dad actually brought me up to be a Blackburn Rovers fan. It's quite a weird story, if I'm honest with you. Blackburn won the Premier League in 95, and my dad moved from Malawi. He was from Lilongwe in Malawi, and he moved to Blackburn where he grew up. And that was obviously all he knew football-wise, was being part of the Rovers elite, should we say. When he brought me up, he tried to bring me up to be a Blackburn Rovers fan, and for many years I was, and then I had to see the light that, Leicester City is where I'm born and raised, and you got to support where you come from. And of course, what a wonderful club we have in Leicester City Football Club. But back to my point, Blackburn Rovers have a really good connection with the British Muslim community, and they actually ensure that a prayer room is accessible for fans to be able to pray their namaz during games or during opportunities when they're at the stadium as well. Yet another example of how sporting organizations continue to support especially Muslim athletes and Muslim supporters overall in enjoying their sport and being part of their community, and ensuring that sport can provide us with an opportunity to show that we're all the same. We're all human beings. And yes, we might have all different religious beliefs and views, but, we should all learn to respect that and be able to, share, that love for one another overall. So yes, that's my number 2 in my top 5. Zinedine Zidane, the wizard, the magician, phenomenal guy. Unfortunately, he bowed out his career with a headbutt, which isn't very much like him, because we knew Zidane to have so much class. But unfortunately, that's how he bowed out, and he dealt with it as he chose to do so. But in a weird way, that's also why I've got him in my top 5. It's a little bit gritty to do something like that. You got to have some real kahunas to have something like that. So in my top 5 is Zinedine Zidane. Don't forget, I want to know who your top 5 Muslim sporting icons are of all time. Please do get involved with me on social media, on Twitter, etc. You can call us 0116 482 2086. You don't have to just speak about that. I want to know everything you love about sport and being a Muslim in sport. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. I know it's late at night. You might be sitting in bed with your AirPods on. You don't want to wake the kids up. Go in another room. Give me a call. Let me know your thoughts. You can even text in on WhatsApp 077 488 55055. So before we go into recapping on my top 5 overall, I want to just once again make a shout out to that donation opportunity, fundraising Eid gifts for children in Leicester Hospital's charity. Young people that are going to be spending their time in hospital over Eid. We have raised 94% of the target, £2,831. Please do get involved. £3,000 is the target. We want to go above and beyond that target, and quite simply, all you have to do is to go to justgiving.com, and if you search for Ramadan Radio, it should come up straight away, and we're having donations all the time on that page, so make sure, please donate generously. In fact, our last donation was £20 15 minutes ago. Mashallah, brilliant idea, and really grateful to get a chance to help. So please do donate generously. Of course, this is the time of giving. You will see, guaranteed, right, at the end of this Ramadan, you will see guaranteed an article about how much Muslims have raised over this month of Ramadan in comparison to what the whole country raises. It's a regular article, one that we should all be very, very proud of, fundraising for all the incredible initiatives that are out there supporting your local community or the wider community here in the UK. I got a little text in to say I forgot about Hamza Chowdhury. Yeah, man, local guy from Loughborough, Hamza Chowdhury. He was a phenomenal player, and of course a flagship young man in terms of his support for his local community and showing his support to Ramadan Radio, a viral piece of content that went out a little while ago. So big shout out to Hamza Chowdhury as well. There's so many great people, so many great athletes that I could potentially be missing out in this world. Let me bring you a couple of other ones that I might be missing out at this moment in time. A man by the name of Nawal El Mutawakkal. Yes, he was at 22, enchanted the world and offered Morocco its first Olympic gold medal. Okay, she is highly revered as the first female Muslim athlete to ever win an Olympic gold medal. She won the 400-meter hurdles in 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, making her mark in history. She's also the first Muslim woman to be elected in the International Olympics Committee and holds the 2010 Laureate Achievement Award. So missing her out. Unfortunately, in my top 10, Imran Khan, regarded as one of the greatest all-round cricketers of all time, he's missing out. We've got Rasana Begum, a British Bengali boxer, also the Muay Thai world champion. We're missing her out in this one. I've mentioned guys like Mo Salah. We've also got Ruqayya Al Ghasra. She shattered the glass ceiling as the first Muslim athlete to win an Olympic medal covered in hijab at the 2004 Olympics. In the 200-meter sprint, she won gold and bronze in the 100-meter 2006 Asian Games in Doha. So these are all incredible people that aren't making my top 5 at this moment in time. Please let me know who's in your top 5. I've got a gentleman who wants to come in and talk about his 2 athletes. You're more than welcome. Come in, Brother Ismail. You're more than welcome. Come in, have a conversation with me. Also got a little comment there. Number 1. Yeah, okay, we'll discuss that. Musa Isak. We'll discuss that number 1 very, very shortly. We'll be coming on to that one. Just very quickly, a quick recap of who my top 5 are at this moment in time. Mo Farah at number 5. At number 4, Ibn Hajj Muhammad. At number 3, Hakeem the Dream. And at number 2, Zinedine Zidane. I'll let you know who my number 1 is. So, but first, a brother I've met before. Assalamu alaikum. Never met you before. Ismail. Welcome to Ramadan Radio.
Bro, you don't know me?
I don't know you yet.
Okay.
I'm about to know you.
Akil, do the introduction, man.
Okay. He's got no microphone. So, assalamu alaikum, brother. You said you've got 2 athletes you want to talk about.
Okay, yeah. I would say Khabib's number 1.
Oh, well, I was waiting for someone to say Khabib.
Yeah.
I was waiting for someone to pop up with him because he has not only in the cage been able to inspire so many people, outside of the cage, his demeanor, the way he speaks, the respect he has from his family is exemplary.
For me, the way Khabib conducts himself, his humility, his total demeanor, and he's a true Islamic role model. Yeah, like the rest, like the names you're mentioning, they're Muslims, mashallah. But the way Khabib, everything he makes that sign, all from Allah.
Okay.
Yeah. Boom. I'm nothing. It's only Allah.
Well, see, there's like 2 aspects to this because it's being a Muslim and like achieving, like in the sporting world, but then it's being achieving in the sporting world and making sure that everybody knows that you're a Muslim and actually sharing the truth and actually practicing the truth and not being worried about what the media says.
The whole Conor McGregor the whole fight, the build up before, all the trash talk by Connor, him offering the whiskey, you know, everything, all of that, you know.
Wow.
And it was just amazing. The whole hype. It was like, to me, it was like Salahuddin. And unfortunately, that's how it was.
Okay.
So everybody tuned in for that fight. I think people who never ever watched UFC or MMA or they all tuned into that fight.
Well, if you agree with Brother Ismail, then you need to let us know. Call in 01648220886. Text WhatsApp 074885555. So you've got two athletes. Your first one with Khabib, and you're putting him at number one.
He's number one.
Number one.
He's topped it. He's topped it.
Okay, then. Who you got next? Who's the second guy that you got? Or second lady, should I say? Who you got next?
Okay, the second one is a tough one. Who can I pick? Actually, the first one would have been. It could be even the ones who have retired. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all time. All time.
All right, then. If you're saying all time, then I have to reverse that. The first one has to be Muhammad Ali.
Wow, listen, we're about to get on to my first one, my number one, and without a doubt, Muhammad Ali is number one.
Is the number one.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He had bars as well, just to be clear.
Yeah.
He had bars. Yes, you know, without a doubt, the most prominent Muslim sports figure in recent history. He needs no introduction. The 1960 light heavyweight Olympic gold medalist and 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. His portfolio is almost next to none. His style of boxing, his class, etc., drew the crowds in, drew your attention. And then he had the ability to show his personality, his social and political and religious views in America when it was such a difficult time for Muslims and for the black community overall. Muhammad Ali,
the legend. He came in a time where Islam was unknown to the American people. Obviously, he started off with the Nation of Islam. Then he found the true Orthodox Islam. But his whole, obviously, the outside of the ring, not just inside the ring, he backed it up with his words. You know, he predicted which round he was going to knock his opponent out. He gave the talk, but he backed it up, yeah? And outside the ring, what he achieved, you know, he never went to the war in Vietnam, and he gave up the most crucial, his pinnacle point in his boxing career, the 3 years where they put him in prison. He was banned from boxing, stripped from his world title, and then come back. And those we've never come from the era of Thriller in Manila or Rumble in the Jungle.
Sure,
is Zaire, yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine people generations afterwards have tuned in to watch those fights.
He's set precedents. You know, imagine we also recently had loads of fights in Saudi Arabia, etc., and you know, Qatar World Cup, all of these things. You know, however controversial the media makes it sound over here, you have to realize that actually, you know, without those moments you spoke about for Muhammad Ali, we wouldn't even be nowhere near those opportunities for sport or international sport to reach those realms. As you said, you know, the Vietnam War, him going to prison, you know, the former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, his biggest win came not in the ring, but in our courts in his fight for his beliefs. These are some of the things he's saying. Muhammad Ali, my conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some darker people or some poor, hungry people in the mud for a big, powerful America. At the time, he said, and shoot them for what? They never called me a. They never lynched me. They didn't put no dogs on me. They didn't rob me of my nationality, rape and kill my mother and father. Shoot them for what? How can I shoot them poor people? Just take me to jail. You know, these are strong, powerful words from the great man himself. And of course, you know, every, you know, sporting icon out there, they only, you know, they can only desire to want to be like Muhammad Ali. And that says it all in himself. So I'm glad you said that, because it is my number one, Muhammad Ali, of my top five. But I really appreciate you coming in with Khabib, because that's a really, really big one. And current day, in terms of fighting, Khabib is up there. I don't know if you were here when I mentioned Prince Nassim as well. I talked about his journey, his experience, and how maybe he kind of changed for the most part afterwards, but still in some weird way, despite all of his weird characteristics, still made Islam a part of what he was doing in that time. So I'm just going to recap my top 5 because we have it all out in the open now. We've got 20 minutes to go left on the show. So this last 20 minutes, I need to hear your thoughts. I don't want you to see you hiding. I don't want to see you chilling at home. I want to hear you ringing in. I want to hear you messaging in 01164822086, 07748855055 at the text and WhatsApp. Get involved. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you know the drill. So my top 5, number 5, Mo Farah. Number 4, Ibtihaj Muhammad. Number 3, Hakeem the Dream Elijah. Number 2, Zinedine Zidane. And number 1, Muhammad Ali. So Ismail, you've given me 2. You've said Muhammad Ali first, right? Because you changed it. Khabib second. You could give me 3 more. 3 more. That's who I'm looking for.
Okay. Third one, I'd have say Mo Salah.
Mo Salah.
He's another one.
Why Mo Salah, though? I want to know why.
He can back it up on the pitch and not outside the pitch. He's just known as such a nice guy. Everybody just thinks he's this guy. He's like an angel. His humbleness. He's got time for everyone. So Mo Salah.
Yeah, but that's number 3 for you,
number 3. 4. Okay.
This is not easy.
This ain't easy. You've done homework.
Well, listen, I'm not going to lie. I was sitting at home. My wife's like, what are you doing? It's my wife's birthday, by the way. So we had dinner, made a nice chicken katsu curry for us all. And then we had a chocolate fudge cake for her birthday, a bit of ice cream. Then after that, she's like, all right, it's bedtime. I said, don't forget, I've got my midnight show tonight. I need 2 hours of prep for this. So I sat down and I made sure I put my thoughts together.
And the cricketer from England, Moeen Khan.
Moeen Khan, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
okay, why Moeen Khan?
He's another one. He's showed himself that you can be a practicing Muslim and you wouldn't interfere whether you're a professional athlete. He played for England and obviously on a local level, and his deen was never an obstacle for him to practice.
I would say that also, when he's playing for England, it's at a time before all of this revelation around the Yorkshire County Cricket Club. Azim Rafiq is that name. I've got that right, haven't I? The cricketer who obviously made the claim that he was being racially abused at his club, etc. This is before all of this kind of stuff's come out. So he's still kind of gone through those processes and not really said too much about him. We don't know if he's received any racial abuse. He's not really come out and said anything, not to my knowledge immediately. But he's still kind of gone through that process and still got to the top. And fighting the good fight, should we say, against the system, as they would say, inverted commas, to do so. Moeen Khan, that's a good one. That's a good one. So you got a good 5 going right here. So Muhammad Ali, Khabib, Mo Salah, Moeen Khan, you got a nice little number. Here's your number 5, Brother Ismail.
Number 5, I would have to say, how are you marking these people?
You see, this is what I'm saying. It's all relative. It's up to you,
What it is, there's Mike Tyson.
Yes.
But I can't give it Mike Tyson anymore.
Okay.
I like his, obviously, in his peak, he was the man.
Yeah.
In his boxing ability, I would say he would have crushed anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. In his boxing ability, I think he would have done even Muhammad Ali.
Vicious.
That's my own personal opinion. But in terms of, he's got to tick a lot of boxes for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can't put him in the top 5, unfortunately. In his boxing ability, I would have put him up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as a Muslim personality, the best, unfortunately.
I think recent years he still preaches Islam, etc. but some of his actions don't reflect what he's preaching.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that his podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
He seemed pretty high.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is you can't. You can't be wanting to preach Islam and then being front face, because that is a big podcast that he's delivering now, and millions of people are watching that, and he's doing it under the influence of drugs. Let's be really clear that a lot of Muslim athletes that have had to deal with drug abuse over the years and substance misuse, it's a challenge that popularity, fame, and moving in certain circles brings, even at a lower community level as well. He doesn't seem to be winning that fight at this moment in time. So I understand your reasons for
I'm
Mike
not judging
Tyson.
him.
No,
Each
you
to their
can't
own.
judge him, of
Yeah,
course,
each to their
but
own. And I love him for, you know, he's got a good heart, and he's realised his mistakes in his past. What he did, obviously, when he bit the ear of
Evander Holyfield's ear, yeah.
So he's realised his mistakes, but I can't put him in the top 5. So I've got to think of the last one. It'll come to me.
It'll come to you. Right, we've got some other ones here. We've got Shaquille O'Neal, who's been thrown in the mix. Not many people know Shaquille O'Neal is in fact a Muslim. He was raised with both a Christian influence and a Muslim influence as well. His stepdad has never really been too vocal about his religious affiliation, but he's mentioned several times that he's actually, he's been to Mecca and he's been to Hajj. And he is a massive TV personality, a businessman that maybe doesn't wear Islam on his sleeve, but still believes in the religion. So you can throw him in the mix there. Shaquille O'Neal, some more for you. Bernard Hopkins, another former undisputed world middleweight champion, one of the most successful fighters in recent history. And he missed out on his career continuing as he was sentenced for 18 years for armed robbery when he was the age of 17. But during his bid, Hopkins discovered his love for boxing and also converted to Islam, and he turned pro upon his release in 1988. Since then, he's racked up over 50 wins and became the first fighter to unify all 4 world middleweight titles. And his victory over Jean Pascal in 2011 made him the oldest world champion in boxing history at 46 years old. And he continues to fight today, and he's a surefire Hall of Famer once he decides to hang them up. Really interestingly, right, they're or fighting sporting personalities and their conversion to Islam. Why do you think that is? What do you think that it shares? What's the commonalities it shares with one another?
I think Muhammad Ali paved the way.
Yeah, okay.
He paved the way. He made him that extra bit special. After being from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, there was something different. He had like this different edge about him. And I think definitely that Islam gave him that extra edge. His belief in Allah, his belief in Islam. And
do you think there's a certain level of discipline that's required to be a practicing Muslim that's relative to professional sport? So, for example, Ramadan is the perfect example. Everybody has friends who are not Muslim, and they'll ask the question, how do you do it? How do you fast for 30 days and not even water? That's the $1 million question. Not even water. No, not water. That requires a level of discipline that we can relate to professional sporting dedication. I mentioned a little earlier on in the show about when I was younger at a basketball academy. I used to go to 6 a.m., 7 a.m. practices and practice my sport. Some of the kids wouldn't do that at that time because they can't relate to that level of dedication. But I think that going to madrasa, observing my fast during Ramadan, trying to be the best possible Muslim I could be, it taught me a lot of skill sets that I could translate to professional sport. Would you say that that's something relative for professional sports people that are Muslim?
Definitely. I think Islam is all about having a discipline, and there's do's and don'ts. And with any athlete, if you give in the craft, you give in the time, the dedication, you're going to attain the level of some kind of high level. I think if a person has that discipline already in Islam, it will help them in the sport, whatever sport they're in. So I think that definitely there's a collaboration, there's some kind of connection there, yeah.
Without a doubt. So please do let us know who your top 5 sporting Muslim icons are of all time. We've got 10 minutes. 10 minutes left to go here on this show. It's flown by, but please do get in contact with us. Give us a call, 0116 482 2086, and you can text and WhatsApp in 077 488 55055. You're listening to Ramadan Radio 87.7 FM, and I'll be honest with you, a real surreal experience for me. When I was younger, I used to listen to Ramadan Radio It was used to be connected to Sabra Sound back in the day, and Maulana Ibrahim Mogra was the main voice on Ramadan radio, and I used to listen to it religiously, you know, on the way to madrasa, leaving madrasa. You know, it was incredible at a young age when maybe there wasn't much opportunity to engage with my fellow Muslims as a young person. There's no social media, you know, internet was very limited. Ramadan radio gave me that opportunity to connect with people and know that there are other Muslims out there, especially during Ramadan, you know, facing the same challenges, but also sharing, you know, sharing their love for the religion and voicing their opinions, and also hearing what respective people had to say about all of the relative community topics. And there's lots going on here, so make sure you are tuning in throughout the month of Ramadan. And also don't forget, we are raising money. We actually had 95% of our target. It's gone up. We've done that whilst we're on the show live online, and this midnight late hour we're raising money. It's £2,856. Remember, £3,000 is that target. Please donate generously. Eid gifts for children's wards and the Leicester Hospitals charity. Make sure you check out justgiving.com /Ramadan-radio. Please donate generously. And as I said, it's not the only charity you can donate to. There's so many out there. Please donate throughout the month of Ramadan and show your love and support for your community and for your country overall. It's a really, really important thing to do. You're tuned in with Tahir Hajat here at the Late Night Sports Thoughts. You know, I have mentioned some latest news as well in sports, talking about football, talking about snooker, boxing, basketball, etc. If you want to talk about any other sports as well, it's all sports thoughts that we want to listen to. So please do get in contact with us, 0116 482 2086. I know it's late at night, but we've had plenty of texts and tweets, etc. coming in. So please continue to get involved, and you can text and WhatsApp us 0774 8855 055. So my top 10, just to recap my top 10 for you, it was at number 5, Mo Farah. It was also at number 4, Ibtihaj Muhammad. Number 3, Hakeem the Dream. And at number 2, Zinedine Zidane. And we got to it in the end. My brother Ismail came into the studio, late night vibes, and had shared his thoughts with me and helped me to share with everybody else who my number 1 was, and that was Muhammad Ali. Please keep sharing who you think your top 5 Muslim athletes of all time are. So it's getting to that time now. 7 minutes left. Please share with us 0774 8855 055. Call in 0116 482 2086. Ismail, who do you support? You got a football team? You support a team?
When I was young, I was mad about Liverpool.
So it's a good day for you.
Yeah, the passion's kind of died down.
Yeah.
I'm not into football as I used to be, but I kind of still support them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, if they lose, then they don't win. They lose, they don't lose. You know, it's okay. If they win, yeah, it's one of them. I'm not like a hardcore fan. You know?
No. You know, some people, it's football is everyone's first love in this country.
For me, that passion died out. I'm more of a boxing man.
Big boxing fan. You know what? I think there's a big sway now, especially in the sporting world. Boxing at this moment in time with Matchroom Sport. I'm really, really fortunate to work for Matchroom Sport in the multi-sport sector, you know, doing all kinds of crazy sports like 10-pin bowling, pool, ping pong, all kind of crazy stuff. But of course, you know, very much in tune with what they're doing in boxing, how they've really globalized the sport and made it a big money sport and also a highly viewed sport. The pay-per-view is through the roof, the big fights, the build-up, the press around it. Now, a lot of young people are getting into it. And there's a lot of local clubs and organizations. You know of any local clubs and organizations that are delivering martial arts or mixed combat sessions?
Yeah. There's in Leicester, quite fortunate we have in terms of boxing. So you got like stepping stone boxing clubs. Like Billy's Boxing.
Sure.
You got Toots Boxing. That's Toots Boxing on top of SNS.
Yeah.
I myself run only a weekly session.
Sure.
That's from formerly Unit 66 building as well on London Street. So these are like stepping stone boxing clubs. Then if you take it to the next level, amateur clubs, you have Atlas Boxing Club, you have Unity Boxing Club in
they've got a few champions coming out of there. Leon Woodstock, these guys coming out.
Challenger.
Yeah.
So that obviously they've got pro boxers as well. Then you've got Railman's Boxing Club on Eastport Road.
Okay.
So that's the three on top of my head. So
yeah, well, look, this is Sports Thoughts, so do let us know if you want to shout out to your local sports club organization. If you're looking for somewhere to play sport as well, we can be that directory for you. As you know, I'm a big basketball enthusiast. There's lots of basketball clubs out there. The Leicester Warriors Basketball Club that play out at Gateway College. They've got sessions at Highfields Community Centre, Evington Leisure Centre, as it's called as well. Crown Hills Community College, they're running sessions there. Also the Leicester Dynamite Basketball Club that play out of English Martyrs in Beaumont Lees. Dave Harris, Leicester Dynamite Basketball Club, and then the Leicester Riders Basketball Club. I was fortunate to be the head of the academy for 8.5 years there. That was a great experience. I've been able to help so many young people through the sport of basketball. You can get involved in those clubs there for sport of basketball. Football, geez Louise, there's so many football clubs out there, and of course if you want to get involved in football, so many opportunities to do so. Rugby clubs, there aren't many Muslim rugby players. I'll be very honest with you. I was very fortunate, and actually probably one of the only experiences in sport where I experienced racism was playing rugby. I played when I was at Lancaster Boys for 3 years. We had an incredible rugby team. We got to the national semi-finals of the Daily Mail Cup. And actually on that journey, I experienced racism several times, but being on a rugby pitch and being quite physical, you can kind of put yourself about enough to show them that you are a strong person, and no matter what you say, competing in sport brings its own level of respect, and earning people's respect through sport is a really powerful way of doing that. So lots of rugby clubs out there, of course Leicester Tigers, but then clubs like the Oadby Whigs club, that was one of the clubs that I played for when I was younger, Leicester Vipers, Leicester Lions, so many rugby clubs out there as well. And also want to give a big shout out to a lady called Yusra Shabani. She runs the Skate Parlour, which is a skateboarding, indoor skateboarding, I can't call it skateboard park, indoor skateboard park. And they have a real focus around young girls being involved in skateboarding, or females being involved in skateboarding, specifically. Me and Yusra go way back, we went to college together, etc. So if you want to get in something a little different, skateboarding is a little different, and something to be involved in. So check that out. It's the Skate Parlour. And also my wife actually plays for a baseball club, an all-ladies baseball club called the Leicester Diamonds. And they play at Western Park. You can get involved with them on social media, on Instagram. If you search for Leicester Diamonds, you can find them as well. Lots of sporting opportunities here in our city, our great city of Leicester, the sporting capital of this country. I would like to think so. So it's that time now. Last 2 minutes to go for you to share your thoughts with me. I've had lots of wonderful messages on Twitter, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, etc. Thank you very much for joining us throughout. You still have a very, very short amount of time to let us know who your top 5 sporting Muslim icons of all time. Let us know your thoughts. In fact, I've seen an article here who's given me the world 11 of Muslim football players only. This is a good conversation to have, but we've only not got long, so I'm going to run through it. Goalkeeper, Begovic. Left centre-back, Rudiger. Centre-back, Kolasinac. Right centre-back, Benatia. Centre midfield, N'Golo Kante. What a great guy he was. He's seen at masjids wherever he goes. Paul Pogba's in there. Left wing, Mane. Ozil. Riyad Mahrez, of course, Mo Salah, and Eden Hazard. That's a World 11 football team. Maybe a discussion for next week, letting us know who your all Muslim team are. So now we're probably going to wind things down. Thank you very much for joining me here on the evening hour. Ismail, go ahead.
Just kind of struck the note with me. Who's the 5th one?
Go on. Yeah. We didn't get your 5th one. Come on.
He goes to Ozil.
Okay. Yeah, well, he had a strong stance.
Yeah, he spoke up against for the Uyghur Muslims, and the backlash he got from Arsenal Football Club and many other sponsors he had. And as we know, all of a sudden politics is allowed in sport now.
Well, yeah, all of a sudden it is allowed, and in business as well. Well, that is it. We'll sign off. Ismail's giving us his top 5. What a great top 5 that was. Thank you very much for joining me, brother Ismail. My name is Tahir Hajat. Thank you very much for joining me Late Night Sports Thoughts. Join me next Tuesday live at midnight